Hello, and welcome to West Ham Reunited. I'm back again. An hour and a half ago, I was starting another show, but I'm back again. But the reason why we're back is we've got a very special guest with us. We've got YouTube royalty. We've got Euro expert to help us talk about the West Ham United trip on Thursday night against Genk. And obviously, I've got my partner in crime, Jazz. But Jazz, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Just like you said, I was just got an exam next week, just doing a bit of revision. So yeah, looking forward to this really. As this guest is our first one on our channel, and hopefully many more to come. So yeah, really excited for this one. Yeah.
Euro expert, how are you, mate?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the kind intro. And I'm looking forward to this game. Really am.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's we'll sort of get onto the table in a minute in regards to Europa League. But if we win this, we're pretty much qualified. I think, in my opinion. But it's just these quick fire games now, Jazz, isn't it? West Ham playing 3 games in a week, and then we've got City next week. So we've got a lot of games, and hopefully we can get this one over the line.
It is, and it's funny enough, since this channel started, we know how much work we've got to do. So the more games we play, the more shows we've got to prepare for. So yeah, we're going through the motions, aren't we?
Well, the way we see it is 6 a week. If we're playing 3 games a week, that's minimum 6 shows a week you've got to do.
Yeah,
so it's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad. So actually, I've done a boo-boo, Jazz. Channel sponsor, Glazewise. Windows, doors, conservatories in around Essex, Kent and London area. John is your man, and if you quote West Ham Reunited, you get a discount. What? And he's a West Ham fan, so even better. And of course, we're partnering with John and helping raise awareness for iron supporting food banks. So if you're going to the game on Thursday, even if you want to make a small donation of food or a money donation, John and his team will be there to help you. So, you are expert. Genk, I know who they are, but some people may know. Who are they?
Yeah,
that's probably the easiest answer to say.
Well, Genk, a team, I think, sneakily been producing quite a lot of interesting players. I mean, just to name off a few that have been developed by the team. There's Sergei Milinkovic-Savic at Lazio, there's Kevin De Bruyne, Wilfred Ndidi as well, Courtois, Castagna, Koulibaly. They merged with another team in 1988, but since then they've really been hitting the ground running in Belgium and producing a lot of interesting players and making lots of interesting teams.
Yeah.
And to give it context, more recently, they won the league, I believe it was in 18-19. Since then, Club Brugge have really risen above everyone else. But they're still bubbling along. They've got, to give a tease of them, they've got, I'd say, a front three that might be one of the best in the Europa League. I mean, I've built a couple of other West Ham channels as well. If it's the West Ham Way with Corey, who's a top bloke. And I said to him that a lot of you guys were worried about Dinamo Zagreb.
Yeah.
This is the game I said from the start, your toughest test.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah.
To be honest, I honestly, me personally as well, I thought Zagreb would be the tougher of the game. Obviously, going by the pools, obviously we're in pool 3, so when you think about it, we shouldn't really be doing as well as what we've done. But I think the fact that we thought the hardest away fixture. But the thing is with these draws is we're playing Genk obviously back to back, so this sort of is make or break for both sides really from that side of it. But we'll sort of get into their danger men. But with regards to their system, do they not change it? Are they home or away? That doesn't really matter. They've got the power up front really to do damage. Is that pretty much the thing?
Yeah. So they look to maximise their front three. They play generally the 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. They might change up the midfield, but generally the front three who we're going to talk a lot about is Itu, Onuachu and Bongonda. A lot of names you might not have heard of besides Onuachu. The striker's been linked with a lot of teams, but by the end of this, you're going to learn a lot about, because they're genuinely, for people who don't know me, I watch a lot of European football, and Bongonda and Onuachu are some of the most fun players I've actually seen on a sort of weekly basis. So I do, to clarify as well, West Ham, the strongest team in this group. But I'm looking forward to this game quite a bit.
Yeah, they do play a 4-3-3. You're right. I think Pencil has been used in one of the three recently up front, but I think he's suspended or injured for this one. He won't play. I think going back to what Miles, you and me were thinking about Dynamo Zagreb, I think we were definitely thinking that away to Dynamo Zagreb would be the hardest game in the group. And so far, if you look at the group table, 6 points, 4 goals, none conceded. Zagreb on 3, Genk on 3 with a last-minute winner at Rapid Vienna. And then Dynamo Zagreb put 3 past Genk, really, which... Was that a surprising result for you? Because I think you look like you rate Genk a bit, don't you?
Yeah, it was a little surprise. I mean, I don't think between them and Zagreb, they're very different styles of teams in a lot of ways. But that game, for anyone who wasn't aware, I wouldn't be fooled too much by the 3-0 scoreline. 2 goals came from penalties, and although Zagreb they took their chances well and they created the better opportunities from open play. I think Zagreb. Genk really had it over them. And I think that 3-0 was a bit of a skewed scoreline. It's not to take away from them, I think they deserve to win. But yeah, I think in terms of quality, really, that's where Genk are lining up well. I mean, to really transition to where they are at the moment, they're currently 6th in the league. Under the manager, Jon van den Brom, who previously won the Belgian Pro League and elect. But you don't need to worry about that. You just need to know that he plays quite an aggressive team. I don't expect Genk to sit back against West Ham that some teams might be expected to do. I mean, I didn't watch the Rapid Vienna game. I think I was watching Napoli, but I imagine they weren't too adventurous against you guys, going through a horrible form.
They reminded me of Stoke.
Well, there you
Tony
go.
Pulis Stoke.
Well, yes. Well, Genk won't be like that. But it's worth saying as well, something that I've always remembered, just to give you guys a bit of something to remember as well, and the people in the comments watching, because obviously Belgium and the Netherlands are quite closely connected, but there's a key difference in their football. The Belgians will sometimes call the Dutch playing carpet football, like passing on the ground for all 4-3-3s. Belgian football's a bit more physical. So sometimes that's why some players transition a bit better over into the Premier League. I think it's a bit more of an expected test, although the quality in the league can still be quite poor. But as well, there's giving a bit of headline stats to really real people in. So we've mentioned Onuachu. Last season, he got over 33 goals, I believe, in the league. There's also Teo Bongonda. He's a 25-year-old, and he has previously played in La Liga, and he's like a really... Forget the analysis. He's like a discount Hazard in many ways. He's extremely confident, great dribbler. I think he got 16 goals last season. He's the sort of player where when he's confident, he'll be taking shots from all over the place, which doesn't tend to do him well like any other player, but he's shooting surprisingly accurate. I'll say that much. And there's the Japanese player, Yunya Itu, 28-year-old, quite experienced. He won't probably move on to another club, but last season, he created 21 big chances. And for context in the league, James Maddison created 5. So you can really see the difference in creativity there. From 3, really dangerous. And I'll be impressed for West Ham if they keep a clean sheet against that. Yeah.
We've just got a question from Bill, who's a regular contributor to our channel. He comes on over quite a bit. This probably sort of answers the question. Do Genk have a certain style of play, or do they mix it up a bit?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I'd say perhaps leaning more to mix it up a bit. I mean, they would like to hold possession. I'd say they're a bit more similar way to Chelsea in terms of they can dominate a game, but they're also really lethal on the counter-attack. That's the thing. I wouldn't want Teo Bongonda, the guy I've mentioned. I wouldn't want to be caught against him. They do have to. I would say have to, but the striker Onuachu I've mentioned. I mean, the 33 goals and 5 assists last season in the league. That's huge. Like loads of ridiculous numbers. Top scorer in Belgium, and he's a very unique striker. And he's a 27-year-old Nigerian who's been linked to teams. Off there, we said West Ham. He's also been linked to Arsenal. And the good reason is because he's someone who's going to age well. He's 6'7". He's an absolute giant on the pitch. And incredibly, he scored 9 goals last year inside the 6-yard box. And it's because he's a bit like, I know Ronaldo gets mocked for it, but he's so intelligent at getting into the right positions where there's a lot of excitement around him. But if he scores against West Ham, I'm willing to place a bet it's one of the most boring rebound tap-ins you've ever seen. You'll hate it, but it's what he does regularly. And so...
is he really aggressive with his height, or does he not really use that to it when I mean you know what I mean. I know obviously he's going to win some headers with his height advantage, but he's not like an Andy Carroll big striker. He's more of a Ibrahimovic sort of.
Yeah,
mode.
I'd say somewhere a healthy mix between the middle in terms of I feel like Ibrahimovic uses his body well, but he's more renowned for what he does with his feet. Onuachu's okay with his feet, but he did score, I think it was 8 headers in the league last season. So no, 11, sorry, which that's really rare. Most, even the taller strikers like Haku or Carroll, they wouldn't be scoring that much. So he does know how to use his height. I guess it's like if you had Tammy Abraham on one end and Andy Carroll on the other, he's like right in the middle of decent with his feet and pretty good in the air, which is like weirdly kind of rare to see for tall strikers. So yeah, that's another thing to take a look at, especially for set pieces. I mean, I don't know who's going to be sat on him. Maybe Kurt Zouma.
Yeah, I've sort of. I want Zouma rested for Sunday, but I know and especially with that. So me personally, I can either see West Ham going in as a back three or Diop and Zouma to obviously try and take him out of the game pretty much, in my opinion.
I think it might be Diop and Dawson. I think it might be. I think they're like the second kind of.
That's the predicted lineup I've got here.
Yeah, that's what I think. This reminds me when he said he's 6'7". I think we were linked with him coming into that last week of the deadline. I know we had a lot of players were linked. I remember now.
I think they wanted 30 million, from my understanding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You made a good point there as well, because West Ham. I remember it was on Hammer's chat. I said like all the strikers you've been linked with in a week, and it was like Hwang Hee-chan, Onuachu. It's like just a long list. But go on.
Yeah, we did have 30 million, didn't we, in the end? But it went on someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think there is a bit more concrete behind it because, like I said, I feel like with someone like Vlasic, I'm quite excited by, but I feel like with Vlasic, there is still an element of, or could he adapt to the Premier League? Because he's quite a crafty player. There's a lot of those in the Premier League, whereas Onuachu is so unique, like you're bound to find a use for him. A bit like Loftus-Cheek at Chelsea, where he's so unique that it feels like his ability is almost timeless in a way. And yeah, there's definitely this thing with Onuachu. I can see why clubs are linked with him, and I can see why.
Imagine him as an Antonio as a front two.
Oh my god, that'd be a riot. That'd be an absolute riot.
The one player, obviously, that's why we've got you on, and I think it'll be the battle is the goalkeepers, because obviously the likelihood is if Areola playing tomorrow. What's the Genk goalkeeper like? Is he a commanding goalie, or is he a bit of a?
Good question, sir. Good question. Well, the goalkeeper, if there's any football manager people out there, they might like him. He's a name that some might not recognise. He's called Martin van der Voort. He's a 19-year-old who's playing in the Europa League, made 16 appearances last year. He's one of the more highly rated goalkeepers in all of Europe, and he has been for quite a long time. That said, he's still very young, and in the last game against Zagreb, I mean, I could really see two sides of him in 2 penalties that they conceded. The first penalty, it was like he'd already made his movement so obvious that as the shooter was taking his shot, he'd already given away his position. He'd given up. He just slumped. And then the second one, it was like right in the bottom corner, but he so nearly got to it. There's clearly a lot of talent there, but I think, as with many young goalkeepers, I won't call him too commanding. I think there's a bit of an error in there. I think famously he made quite a couple of severe errors on his Champions League debut for Genk, which had been a couple of years ago. In terms of goalkeeper battle, for everyone, if you guys aren't aware, Areola wins it. Just like Areola wins a goalkeeper battle against nearly any goalkeeper in Europe. Love that guy.
Yeah, no, I think because especially in Vienna, we hit the post twice from set pieces, and it's just to try and get a better understanding. Obviously, we got the winner on Sunday at Everton, whipping the balls in up front post, and in the end, Pickford was trying to come out and grab everything, and in the end, it cost them in the end. So it was just trying to work out. Obviously, I know David Moyes and his staff will be getting on, so a lot of in-swinger balls, and hopefully, like you said, that could be the battle. One player as well, he obviously doesn't start. They've got a former Chelsea striker on their books as well, haven't they?
I believe so. Yes. Remind me of the name.
Is it Ogbu?
Oh, Ike Ugbu. Yes.
Yeah. I was doing my homework earlier, and he was actually he's from London, and obviously he was in the Chelsea academy, and then he made the move over to? Is he someone who we should worry about really, or?
Potentially. I mean, I'd be surprised if he starts, but it slipped my mind because he was close to joining Marseille, and there was good reason. Weirdly enough, I was quite impressed by him last year. He also played in Belgium, a club called Circular Bruges. I think they stayed in the division. He was one of the main reasons why he actually scored quite a few goals. Quite a well-rounded striker. Definitely more on the ball, like talented than Onuachu, I'd say. Onuachu, when he as you'd expect, was quite a tall striker. On the ball, he can be a little bit quite clunky. He's very much a poacher, penalty box player. Ugbu's a bit more well-rounded, so he's a good bench option. And maybe if he comes on, I would say he wouldn't be the main goal threat, but he'd be someone the defenders have to keep an eye on. And with that distraction, that's where Onuachu can come in and potentially call something.
No, definitely. I've got trivia for people as well, with people in the chat. West Ham Czech internationals Souček and Vladimir Soufal were starters for Slavia Prague against Genk in both legs of the side's round of 32 fixture in 2018-19. And Soufal scoring his only European goal for Slavia in their 4-1 second win in Belgium following the goal to score in Prague. There's trivia for you, people.
I love that. And Genk as well, I think it was the year before they got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League. So they've got pedigree in this competition.
Yeah, no, definitely. But, Jazz, do you want to add anything, mate, before we move on?
Just looking at the domestic table, so they're lying in 6th place. Again, this league, as you well know, and I follow leagues a lot, certainly in terms of goals, and Belgium is one of them, like the Dutch league. There's a lot of goals traditionally in Belgian football. The form's not so good. You got 3 defeats in 5. Looks like they don't draw too many. Only 2
They've got
draws.
A bad defence as well.
Yeah, so they either really go for it and win, or they lose. They don't hang around really. This team. So
yeah, they play quite a high line. So there's definitely potential to get caught out on the counter here. So it actually be beneficial for them in some ways to really sit back and try and hit you guys on the counter attack. But I feel like that's not really in their play. I feel like they're going to try and keep a high line. Keep the ball interestingly, yeah.
Do you think there's any value? I mean, in the bookmakers, I'm not really giving them any chance. They're kind of 10-1 with one company and nearly 9-1 with the other, 5-1 for the draw. So it's quite generous odds, isn't it? Really, yeah.
Well, for West Ham, yeah, I think that's fair because West Ham. I know you guys you must be lifelong West Ham fans. I know you must have some PTSD in Europe for Empire got you there. And Astragugu. But this year you're good. this year you're good. So even though Genk are really good, like I outlined, West Ham clear favourites. So it's not surprising. I just think they might cause you damage in terms. I'll be surprised if they win. I wouldn't be too shocked if they drew, I'd say. But I do expect them to score.
Okay. Joan, who's a regular contributor. That's why we've got him on, Joan. That's why, because I think especially like we said, especially after Zagreb and after Vienna, after getting them 2 wins, I think a lot of West Ham fans are on cloud 9, which is understandable. Obviously, we've not conceded yet, but like you said, from what you're saying, obviously the front 3 are really going to cause us problems. Obviously, West Ham have got the reputation of hardly ever conceding from set pieces. Apart from the striker, do they score many set piece goals as well? Or not really?
Nothing really above or below average from what I've seen. Really, they're kind of steady in that department, which is quite surprising. I will say though, actually, to be fair, in Belgium there's this is a tangent, but I'm going with it because it's fun. In Belgium there's been a kind of development really of set piece routines, which. Like, I remember seeing the first one where they took 4 players short for a corner and they all made different... Well, this is a different team than Genk, but they all made different runs. And it just pulled the defence apart and broke into the box. I think I remember as well Genk doing something where they had 3 players overlapping for a free kick before shooting. So maybe they will try... I'd love it if they do try something like that and bring something over, because that is a weird thing that I've seen happen in Belgium, but not really anywhere else.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll get another trivia for everyone as well. Where was it? Where was that question? Yarmolenko scored for Dynamo Dynamo Kiev's goal in the 3-1 defeat to Genk on match day 5 of the 2013-14 Europa League as well.
Whoa.
There we go. Proves how much he's been around as well. So there we go. Another
That's
trivia
what I was
one.
thinking.
Yeah. I know the answer to this, but Disabled Team's asking, do you have your own YouTube channel?
I do indeed. It's you type in Euro Expert on YouTube, and if the algorithm's treating me nicely, it should pop up straight away. And you can subscribe there if you would like to.
Yeah, no, definitely. So going into the game, obviously, obviously, I know Euros. We'll sort of go through, obviously, what we think Areola's going to play in goal for us. What system have you got for what West Ham are going to play? What you reckon we're going to play? That's probably a better way of putting it.
So I've got the standard predicted lineup here, and to make sure, it says that Fredericks is out, Krau is out, Souček, Soufal, and Noble quite doubtful. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm looking at predicted line. I'll see if I'd make changes. So they predict who scored. Good side predicts Areola to start. Johnson, Dawson, Diop, Cresswell, Rice, and Souček still, and then Vlasic, Lanzini, Benrahma, Antonio. I think I'd be pretty much happy with that. Maybe just apart from, I'm not sure about Dawson, just because. I bear in mind I haven't watched Dawson enough, but from what I've seen from West Ham fans, they don't seem to have taken too kindly to him this season. I don't think he started well, did he?
No. At Newcastle away, he had a bit of a shocker, and the Palace game at home, he got skinned a couple of times, which you would expect it. He's not getting any younger. So, but then. He come back to himself on Sunday. I come on after Souček's injury and put in a solid performance. Really cleared a couple of headers. So for me, I don't see Cresswell starting on Thursday. I think Masuaku will. What about you, Jazz?
I just wanted to. What was the injury with Noble then? Wasn't quite aware of that.
I'm not too sure.
Oh, right. Because he hasn't.
That's why he went in the squad for Sunday.
Yeah, obviously, 4-2-3-1's what David Moyes wants. I think I agree with your expert, Areola in goal, Dawson, Dupe, Johnson, Cresswell. I think Lanzini might start alongside perhaps Rice and Souček on the bench, especially with the injury he had, the facial injury, might be sitting on the bench. Vlasic. Benrahma. Yeah, it's going to fix itself, doesn't it? Because we've got Bowen and Antonio's the only one we've got up front, really, in the whole team.
Yeah, I will say with your attack, I think most of your attack is. I think every attacking player you have is like individually talented enough where I think you could take apart this Genk side. It's really the defense I guess I'd focus on. Like as well we didn't touch on it too much, but we've mentioned that Genk led the 6th worst defense in Belgium last season, which doesn't sound too bad, but it was like 48 goals in sort of 34, 36 games. It's not very good at all. And it was proved against Zagreb. I remember watching it. It was like in lead up to one of the chances, there was their centre back Lusumi, I think. He'd be number 33. Keep an eye for him. He made such a sort of amateur tackle, just dived in and got completely done. I'm not confident at all in their defenders, so I'm decided should just be goals this game. It should just be goals.
Yeah, we'll get the predictions in the head. Disabled Team said he's subscribing to URX.
Big up, thank you.
Yeah, James is in the building as well. He reckons Rice and Lanzini as well, Jazz. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Yeah, hip injury. And yeah, Bill made a good point. He played well in the cup game against Man United. So, yeah, no. And let's have a look here. I agree with Jazz. I'd say Antonio may be rested. Yeah. Jazz, do you want to add anything else? I was just going
to say potentially. I think it could be just because, the first couple of times been on, spoke about West Ham. I said, I think you guys know 5 subs. If West Ham can go up high up early on, then I'm sure Antonio will get his first man taken off.
Yeah, another thing you're expert. I mean, I even felt before we kicked off, I think our team is well suited to play in Europe, even though we haven't played in Europe in a while. I think each player is so hardworking. We're very fit. So away from home, we can easily play the offensive game.
Yeah.
play fairly and hit teams on the break. And at home, a lot of our players have got pace and strength and quite wise the way they pass. And so I think, and we got really big defenders at the back, as you know.
You're like I guess you're like a happy mix of Genk and Zagreb, where you've got that really hard-working side of Zagreb, where they're very well drilled, and then the raw talent that sort of Genk have up front.
Yeah, Antonio, I mean, it doesn't matter what country you're in, you don't want to play someone like him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a beast, isn't he? But yeah, that's it from me for now, yeah.
So with regards to obviously the third and fourth, obviously playing Genk back to back, I think I'll take 4 points. I think obviously winning on Thursday and probably drawing out. What's their home record like? Like in general, is it pretty good, Genk?
I think it was quite standard, but in fairness, Belgian football was quite mixed last year in terms of having crowds and not having crowds.
Right. Okay. Is that have they got a good following though, Genk?
I think actually, to be fair, because they've really got a lot of success since they properly formed in 1988, and that was when like two clubs formed together. I've forgotten the names of them sadly, but I think a similar thing happened to the club I was covering the other day, Ferencváros, where two clubs formed, and then you get the fan bases of both really.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you think they are the kind of team to sit back and just try for a point? Do you think they might be a bit afraid because we've kind of dominated the group and they've seen that, you think?
Ooh, maybe in a way. I feel like it's a good question, just because the tone in my head is that had they not been doing so poorly in the league by their standards, then they might have devoted more attention to this game in terms of that maybe they would have gone out more all out, but maybe that'll lean to them sitting back a bit more and saying, okay, let's just try and get through this. It's an interesting point. I think overall, because they've won one game and lost the other. I think this game really is make or break for them in terms of their interest in this competition. And then, but in fairness, they finished third. They're going into the Conference League, so they're going to be playing Europa either way. So maybe they will just go all out.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
no, definitely. No. We'll sort of predictions at the end, but I like you said, I reckon this game's going to be very, very open, and I think it's just going to be the matter of who's got the instinct of putting the ball in the net. Not obviously on Sunday we played Everton, and it was the battle in midfield, and Rice and Souček bullied Decore and Allen, in my opinion. What's their midfield like? Are they really competitive as well, or do they just try and keep the ball?
Yeah, they've got an interesting player, I'd say, in terms of midfield's a bit more creative, I'd say. And the one player is Thorsved, a Norwegian 22-year-old. I mentioned the big chances though earlier. I think Madders created 7 last year, and he's already created 5 in 9 games. It doesn't take set pieces either, as well. And he likes an outside of the box shot. But in terms of midfield, he's really the one to keep an eye on. I think the other two, bit more hard work, and it was predicted a Heinen and Eating. But yeah, Forsved is the one that in the midfield I keep an eye out for, because he's actually another player that I can't remember which club, but I remember getting asked a lot from different fans saying, "Can you tell me about this player?" Because he's on the list of a few clubs apparently.
Wow, good to know. Let's just see what Bill was saying as well. A great point, Jazz. His experience in Europa. Yeah, he is very true. Jazz, do you want to add anything, mate, at the minute?
Just again a fact. We apparently played them in 1964 in the European Cup Winners' Cup, but then it says, were they called Ghent then, and they become Genk? Is it?
No, I'll get the clubs up in the background. I think one was a club I've never ever heard of. They wouldn't have formed with Ghent, because Ghent are their own identity. They're like they're in a bit of a rival at the moment. Okay, I'm up. It'd be interesting to see which clubs. So
yeah, KAA Ghent is what they were called in 1964.
No, I think so. Okay, again. I would say as well, I think some records, I was looking at it earlier because it says like they'd won a trophy in like 1950, 60 something. I was like, well, technically it wasn't them. They merged. Oh, so I think they were called Genk and then merged with a name that I'm not going to say.
It's confusing, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, no, I can see the name, but I'm going to go for it. It's KFC, and then in the English terms, apparently winter slag. Maybe that's an unfortunate translation.
What the hell? Oh,
dear.
We'll knock that one on a bit of a history trivia on the head, I think. Yeah,
yeah. That's a pub quiz one.
Yeah, and they played Liverpool as well, I can see, recently. Interesting.
Let's have a look here. The Sable team, he's a Leeds fan, and he's just become part of the West Ham community. He comes on a lot of shows, but he's got a question. I know we're sort of not talking about the game, but is there any players in Europe linked with a move to West Ham that you're aware of? Obviously, apart from...
Off the top of my head, I haven't seen too many transfers, but I'll flip it and say any players that you should sign. If West Ham, you could probably do with... I mean, I know Okabona and Zuma doing well defence. Trying to think maybe... holes in... Oh, you need a backup striker. I can't believe I forgot that. You've got Antonio, and that's it, really. So besides Onuachu,
left back we need as well.
Yeah. Tell you what, an interesting one, really interesting. I don't know if you could put it off, but if you do one in Europa League, maybe a loan of Luka Jovic at Real Madrid, because he's having a horrible time there for the past few years, and he's recently come out again today and said, I think an agent or someone made a murmur of, I need to leave. He's played like 40 minutes so far this season there. They would be desperate to get rid of him. And he's quite a good striker. Very different to Antonio as well.
Do you reckon he could adjust to the Premier League?
Yeah, I think so. He played in the Bundesliga. And the thing for the Bundesliga, I did statistics on this before. Won't go too complex into it. But if a player comes from the Bundesliga, you can expect him to score 2 less goals around that in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But even there, I think he got like 30 goals. And he's quite a silkier player, maybe more than Antonio.
Oh, he came with Haller. Did he used to play with Haller, is that the one?
Yes, he did that when they were at front too.
Okay.
I've got another fact for you.
Go on.
Genk have encountered England opposition in each of their last 2 Europa Champions League stage campaigns and have yet to record a victory. They lost 5-0 away and drew 1-1 at home at the eventual winners Chelsea in 2011-2012 and went down to Liverpool twice 4-1 and 2-1 in 2019-20.
Filling the knowledge.
Do you think, obviously looking at the table, do you think if we win, we're pretty much guaranteed top, and it will take a miracle for anyone else to catch us?
Yeah. I think you're going through quite simply. Yeah, I think West Ham could go quite far. To be honest, there's not many teams that really can hold you down. Obviously, the Champions League teams that drop down, that might cause you an issue, but you'll be top, so you might not play them until the round of 16. I think you're well equipped, and lots of people have said like the stress of the Europa League on a small squad. So far, you're dealing with it well. I reckon you're going through it. I reckon you'll be doing decent in this competition.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we've sort of talked about the predicted lineup for us. Do you have the predicted lineup, or is it or do they make a lot of changes? Really, is it really hard to predict?
No, the only person they got out is someone called Daniel Munoz. He got sent off in the last game against Zagreb, but generally they've started more of the same players most games. So, but to skip over a couple of players because I don't want to touch on every single one because not all of them be interesting to the viewers. But the main players I mentioned, Van der Voort, the goalkeeper, is predicted to start. He's played 2 Europa League games so far. I've mentioned Fordsved, he should be playing as well. And the front three of Ito, Onuachu, and Bongonda are all meant to start and all predict to start. And I see no reason why they wouldn't start.
Wow. Okay. No, that's good knowledge. Good knowledge to know. Jazz, do you want to add anything, mate?
Yeah, I think I've got the best question of the night. What's their fans like? Shall I bring my crash helmet with me, or what do you think?
Are they like Rapid Vienna fans?
Oh, that's a good question. It's been hard to tell because I've watched many with fans in the stadium, but from this is really just this might not be true at all, but I vaguely remember them having quite a feisty sort of derby-ish with Ghent, I believe it might be them,
right.
But they're not like stand out in terms of they're going to come and bottle you, and it's not in the same way where you go over there like Zagreb where you're advised to not wear particular shirts, otherwise you might be stoned. So I think they should be quite calm.
All right, turban it is, and I'll bring one for you, Andy. That's it.
Cheers, mate. Pat made a good. Pat, yes. Thanks for joining in, mate. Good to see you. I'm hoping for a clean sheet because the way the Euro experts sort of gave it, I am feeling a bit. Well, I'll tell you what, I was feeling a little bit confident, but now sort of understanding the threat of what they can give, and we thought obviously Zagreb will be the tougher game, but now to be honest, I think this actually might be the toughest game of the lot now.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect a clean sheet. I wouldn't feel too bad about conceding against this team because I said about the poor defense. They scored the second most goals in Belgian football last year. I think they scored 67 in about 30-ish games, so it was like nearly 2 goals a game. Mention the talent, yeah. So I wouldn't expect a clean sheet. Just hope for a win or a draw.
Just having a look here now at the who's the one who's I'm just having a look here. They've got a player called Pancil. Joseph Pancil. I wonder if he was related to one who played for West Ham.
That's what I was thinking when I saw that name.
Yeah.
Pancil,
from Ghana. He's from Ghana as well, and that's where Pancil was from.
Yeah, we used to have a
Maybe
fullback,
related.
didn't we?
I don't know this. I don't know if the other Pancil.
Yeah, Jordan Pancil. Yeah, he played for West Ham probably about 15 years ago.
This guy's only made 1 start this season though, so I don't think he'll play, sadly.
Yeah, no, I'm just having a look now at the other information. Jazz, do you have anything else, mate?
Just kind of you're expert. What kind of teams you follow in Europe as a fan? Really, what are your favourite team? And have you been lucky enough to actually go abroad and see a few games?
I've not. No, I've really got into this during the pandemic, actually. So I've not been able to go abroad to watch teams, but I have a select in different countries to make sure I keep up. So in Belgium, it's Club Brugge. I keep a big eye on. In France, it's PSG and Marseille. Keep close eyes on. Very interesting teams. Italy, Torino. Just because they've got an interesting thing going on at the moment. Spain, this is a completely random. It's more because I've watched them the most, but RCD Mallorca. There's no interesting reason there. It's just because I've happened to watch them more times, so I'm sticking with it. And in Germany, it's Bayer Leverkusen. I was getting really behind, so they got thumped 5-0 by Bayern bloody Munich at the weekend.
Yeah, Lewandowski turned up again.
Yeah,
no surprise. But no, see, my soft spot for thingy in Italy especially is Lazio.
Yeah,
I really enjoy watching them, and in Spain is Atletico. Even over the last what Simeone's done, that rebuild from getting them up there, I really like him. I hope he comes to the Premier League one day.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Although he seems madly in love with Atletico, so I don't know. He's still got like a decade left of management, easy.
I think everyone, especially the Premier League, what it is now, I think everyone will want to come at some stage, prove themselves. I think, and the money as well, incredible. Yeah,
I want to go and manage Newcastle at this rate.
Newcastle, yeah, that's another story, isn't it? Unfolding slowly.
Yeah, no, definitely, but no, you're an expert. You've just made our life a lot easier, so especially when I'm going to look very smart when I'm there at the game, and some Genk players, especially now I've remembered the names and numbers. I know who that is. I know what he's good at. I know what he's good at. Prediction, you're an expert. What do you reckon the score's going to be?
Good question. I'm going to go right. I'm extremely bored with my predictions because I'm always want to be right with them. So I go low scoring. Even then, I'm going to say 2-1 West Ham. Like I said, I expect Genk to score, but I still expect West Ham to win. And as a side prediction, in movies when the supposed tough guy meets an even tougher guy, I think we'll have Antonio face up Onuachu and him just kind of look up endlessly and just be shocked how tall he is. So that's a side prediction I'm expecting to happen.
Before we're probably going to go on for a few more minutes, people. If you have any more questions for your expert, put them in the chat. Jazz, do you have any more questions, mate?
No. I'm ready for the prediction when you are, mate. Yeah,
I'm going for 3-1. I think set pieces will be key. I think Dawson will score. He's come very unlucky in both of the games, and I can imagine him getting on the score sheet. And I think Vlasic will score. I think he'll finally score a goal for us. And the other player, I'm going to go Lanzini penalty because Noble won't be playing.
I'm going to go 4-2 West Ham, 6 goals.
Oh,
Yeah. And they might even nick the first one, and then we come back into it, and then, just give them another one, I think. Something like that. Because if there's an early goal, I think it's going to go completely ballistic. So 4-2, I think. Especially if Dynamo can score 3 goals, I think we're better than them, and I think they can score as well. So, 4-2 for me. Yeah.
Disabled team. I hope you. Yeah, I'll try to. You're an expert, like you said. We've still got a few more games left of Europa League. So if you're not very busy, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you on.
appreciate that. Thank you.
And we can even go because you're a local boy. We can even go and have a pint.
I love that. Thank you.
Yes. Happy Amaret says can't wait to be there on Thursday. Doesn't sound like it'll be easy at first. And I think Jazz, now we've sort of got that understanding. I hope the crowd don't start getting, because it was a sort of obviously I wasn't there. I was away for the Vienna game. But was the crowd getting a bit restless before the goal went in? Do you reckon if they beginning to frustrate it, do you reckon the crowd might get a bit on the team's back?
No, because I think we're in okay now. We won at the weekend. We're top of this group, and I think we're coming in the back of 2 good seasons under David Moyes. No, I don't think so. I think we'll be fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one on Sunday is the one, mate. That's when a few of the things. Yeah, that'll be the one.
I only want to start talking about that on Sunday. I just want to forget about it, to be perfectly honest. Pat's gone for a typical football question. Pizza or burgers?
It's pizza every single day. Well, every day, but yeah, I'm a pizza man.
What toppings?
Oh, I'm extremely boring, so it's just simple margarita for me, unfortunately.
Oh,
that's all right. Yeah. Do you know what I like a vegetarian supreme sometimes as well. Sometimes too much meat can fill you up, so get a few peppers and stuff on the top. It's not too bad.
Yeah, my wife likes that, vegetarian.
Yeah, I'm very typical. I don't support a team, and I don't have toppings on pizzas. I enjoy being boring in some ways.
I'm into my dips a lot. Yeah, I go mad on the dips. Yeah, like that. Pizza or burgers?
Peter as well, another good follower of the channel. I was watching the West Ham podcast there, and a commentator from the channel supporting Genk felt they were in a bad run of form. Sorry, can't remember the guy's name. Okay. Yeah, we sort of mentioned that they're not hitting great form, but yeah, I'm still feeling fit. I think there'll be a good game, but I do think we'll concede. I really do now.
I feel like Zagreb was the biggest defensive test. Rapid VM was just like, who cares? And but again, because like the biggest test for your biggest attacking test, really, like in terms of their attack.
Yeah. Pat's going for 18 now. I'll be right one day. Have you been on a few of these, Pat? Like me, a few drinks. Let's do that. Let's see what Joan's saying. I'll stick with my 3-0. Love a King's. I won't mention Yarmolenko. Yeah, she upset me earlier mentioning Yarmolenko again. You watch. He's going to have he's obviously got a great assist on the Vienna game. You watch him score like an absolute rocket or something on Thursday. You know it's going to happen now, don't you? We're always going to be on his back, and then that will happen. Expecting a lot of goals. Homemade burger all day long. Oh, we're talking about food. It's a football. We always talk about food. You're an expert. If you do get bored and want food chat, me and Jazz are going to be talking about curries and stuff one night. So if you get bored one night, more than welcome to. Happy Amaret barbecue chicken pizza. Nice. Epic. I don't know whether you're joking or not, but
oh mate,
please tell me you're joking.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
So we've got our predictions in. The managers. So obviously David Moyes has got European experience. Obviously, I know Genk has the manager been in charge of them long? The Genk.
Only a season.
Okay, cool. So it's not like he's do you know what I mean? The European sort of.
Yeah, nothing like that.
No, that's pretty much it, mate. Like I said, we just wanted
Yeah.
to sort of get a better understanding of their players, because we could sit here for hours talking about the predicted lineup for what West Ham will think. But I really appreciate your input of getting a better understanding of their players, obviously, and obviously we've got Vienna and Zagreb still to come up. So I know we've sort of played them once, but to get a better insight of what to expect, we'd love to have you on again if you don't mind.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on. Thanks for having
Thank
me
you.
on.
No, I really enjoyed it. I think our viewers enjoyed you as well. So yeah, excellent.
Appreciate that, guys. All right, I will see you maybe soon.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Take care, everyone in the chat. I'll speak to you soon.
Right.
Yeah,
Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.